Assam is where the you all know that NRC was updated, and then what is its connection actually with the NRC? So and after that, if you all have any questions or more clarifications, then please ask. Okay, I don't promise to have all the answers, but I'll try. Okay, so मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बोलूँगी. I like the language not because I'll be called anti-national, but I love the language. Okay, so पहले जब हम आए कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल की बात करें कि ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है या नहीं है, उसमें आज भी एक बहुत अच्छा लेख आया है एक्सप्रेस में गौतम भाटिया का, आप लोग ज़रूर पढ़िएगा उसको, एंड मेक्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग argument, and which I have been making it, in my copies, and it talks about, when you talk about whether it is constitutional, then the question, the supporters or even in the government quarters, we are told that it is, it doesn't violate Article 15. But we cannot overlook Article 14, which Article 15 talks about protection, about mentions Indian citizens. But Article 14, if you, it's so easily available on Google, just read what it says. It doesn't mention, about a citizen or non-citizen. It talks about the rights, equality, सभी लोगों की बात करते हैं, तो उसमें वो डिफ्रेंशिएट नहीं करता है. तो इस पॉइंट पे ये बिल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल नहीं है. और एक और पॉइंट मैं आपको बताऊं कि जब जेपीसी रिपोर्ट आई थी, जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी का जो रिपोर्ट आई थी, इससे पहले जो एक वर्जन ऑलरेडी आ चुका है इस बिल का, जिसको they couldn't pass it in the last session. So उसका कमेटी का रिपोर्ट is also available online, so please read that. It's a long copy, but it's very, very educated, and it talks about, ये ऐसा नहीं है कि जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पॉइंट है, ये सरकार जब इसको लाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे कि इस पे ध्यान नहीं गया. So legal experts were called and to ask whether it is actually constitutional or not, and then the legal expert says that it may not be, because it may fall through the Supreme Court's scanner. So इसमें एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात फिर आई कि इस बिल में रिलीजियस प्रोसिक्यूशन, जिस कारणवश ये 6 रिलीजियस ग्रुप्स को सिटीजनशिप दिया जाएगा, वो रिलीजियस प्रोसिक्यूशन वाले शब्द वो एक्ट में नहीं डालेंगे. So even in the last bill also, and now in the present bill also, you will see that it doesn't mention the 2 words, religious persecution. Okay, what it mentions? It mentions that the people, the category of people who will benefit from this are those who have been exempted by the government of India from the Passport Act and the Foreigners Act. So when did the government exempt this lot? It was in September 2015, where the Narendra Modi government took an executive decision and sent this notification to all the states. So basically ये कह रहे हैं कि उस notification में जिसको exempt किया गया है, वो notification वाले लोग इसमें benefit ले पाएंगे, लेकिन वो notification में religious persecution की बात. So it is a very interesting kind of a convoluted way of trying to bypass the constitutional. So that is one thing. Okay, and then the other point is whether it is communal. Okay, so क्योंकि इसमें the whole point is that you want to give citizenship only to the non-Muslims. So that itself brings this whole question up. Okay, so whether it's communal or not, and because religion के basis पे या ethnicity के basis पे इंडिया ने कभी citizenship नहीं दिया. Persecuted lot को दिया है. As I say, that's why a lot of people try to argue that this is not India's refugee policy. I was in a discussion yesterday on NTV, and supporters of the government were telling me this is not a refugee policy. But yes, of course it is not, because we have given citizenship to, say, the religiously persecuted Tibetans, but we have we have not put that into the Citizenship Act. So why was the need to insert this into the Citizenship Act? Then only these groups will be the privileged lot. Why do we need to do that? If at all we are giving citizenship to, say, people who are persecuted in Sri Lanka, the Tamil Hindus, so we are giving it to some of them. So if we're giving it, so then why are we not including their name here? So those are the things that are being also argued against when the supporters of the bill say that this is not communal. So, you can read up a lot more on this and form your own opinion on this. I don't want to influence any opinion here. I'm only stating what I know. And though I haven't seen much of writing for it, but I have seen a lot of it against it. So maybe you can just engage with that and see सभी पढ़े लिखे हैं और सब समझ पाएंगे ये चीज़ है क्या. So that is one thing. And then coming to the its effect on the Northeast. Okay, why was the bill not passed in the Rajya Sabha in the last session? That was, we all know, was because of the vociferous protest that we saw in the streets of all northeastern states. That's the reason the government finally had to shelve it. It didn't even bring it to the Rajya Sabha. It got it passed in Lok Sabha, but it didn't bring it. So that time, I was also called to talk about the bill, and after I was actually saying something which I think the government must have taken very seriously and was also thinking that this is a very important point. The point was that the New Delhi's gaze on Northeast is always as one block, Northeast, policy Northeast. Dawn Air Ministry is one ministry. But these are all different states, the Seven Sisters and plus Sikkim. Every state has got its own needs and requirements and demands and sets of people. It's very different. But the government of India's gaze has always been as one block, Northeast. So that has been a problem for the people also there. So, and that has also helped in a way government to also divide and rule in that region. Because it has been a volatile region for a long period. And so, when this protest against the CAB happened last time, entire Northeast came together and stood up to New Delhi. That didn't go down very well with the government, and that the government has actually noticed that this can be a force. So this time what I see is from November 30th to December 3rd, late night, the Home Minister called a series of civil society groups and even political parties, opposition leaders, to inform them about their intention to bring the bill. And I was there, so whenever anyone would come out and we would ask कि बात क्या हुई अंदर, so सभी कहे कि अरे ये तो ये कह रहे कि हम इफेक्ट नहीं होंगे, कोई कह रहे कि पता नहीं हम इफेक्ट होंगे कि नहीं. So it was all lot of confused statements we were getting. Then we realized what was happening. The government divided the people into three categories. People where areas where the 6th schedule is implemented, the 6th schedule of the Constitution. 6th schedule is the schedule where the tribal people in the Northeast, the hill tribes mainly, they get protection under the Constitution, while the 5th schedule is the schedule which protects the tribes in the rest of India. So so that means they said that the 6 schedule areas will not be included. So which means that a large part of Meghalaya, Mizoram, some parts of Assam, and some parts of Tripura will be out. Manipur doesn't have any 6 schedule area. Though if you see Manipur is a valley and surrounded by hills. So valley is very little, where the majority community, the Métis, live, and surrounded by the hills, there are all kinds of, it's a diverse kind of set of people who live there, but they are not under 6th schedule. Okay, so they will be now also in a way exposed, though that area is under the ADC, district council, but district councils have been very badly, you know, इनकी इस्तेमाल मतलब ground पे जो हुई है इसको तो ना कहे तो मैंने ठीक है जो there's no protection actually effectively, you know, on the ground. So that is one. And then they said that they will be also keeping out the areas which needs ILP, the inner line permit. So inner line permit is something that you know, the Bengal Eastern Regulation Act jo tha, which was brought for entire actually greater Assam, Nagaland and everybody, Arunachal, they were all part of Assam at one point. So it was to protect that law. So gradually these acts, you know, certain states went out of the purview of this act, but the entire Arunachal is today under ILP. So आप में कोई भी अरुणाचल जाना चाहे तो आपको वो चाहिए होता है, ILP चाहिए होता है, प्रायर परमिशन चाहिए होता है, इवन फॉर टूरिज्म. So that is one thing. So ILP जिस एरिया में लागू है उस एरिया में ये बिल लागू नहीं होगा. So इसका मतलब है कि अरुणाचल will be out, then Mizoram will be out, okay, and most parts of Nagaland will be out. But Nagaland is very worried because their money bags is Dimapur, their commercial, their capital, but that doesn't come under the ILP. So that is what makes them very worried at the moment. So, and then the rest of the areas are what? Most parts of Tripura and major part of Assam. Okay, so that these areas will be included and Manipur will be included under this CAB, the bill that's going to be introduced on Monday. So that brings us to the question of Assam. Why people are now on the streets in Assam, and you will get to see more vociferous, I think, street protests from Monday onwards. Another point before I go into that, I want to also point out, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, particularly say in Manipur, they say that, you know, why Maites need to worry, okay, because ये तो majority community है. ये majority यूपी में होना और मणिपुर में होना में बहुत फर्क है. मेजॉरिटी कम्युनिटी हो सकते हैं ये, लेकिन ये इनकी जो अगर टोटल पॉपुलेशन आप देखेंगे 13 से 15 लाख से ऊपर नहीं होंगे. तो ये लोग इसलिए ये जो डर है, जो ILP की डिमांड है, पूरी इनकी स्ट्रीट प्रोटेस्ट कब से चल रहे हैं, वो है ILP की डिमांड, CAB को ना लागू करने की डिमांड, NRC चाहिए इसकी डिमांड. ये जो चीज़ों की सब डिमांड का जब पीछे आप जाएंगे उसको आपको दिखेगा कि देयर इज अ fear of the smaller communities of being swallowed by the bigger identities. So that is something at the national level we are not engaging, but we need to engage too. That what are their rights then? If there is migration that is happening, what are the rights of the host community? How do you then, what is the mechanism that we need to follow or to actually lessen the conflict on the ground? And that has not happened. What has happened is, like, people have politicized this issue years after years, and also producing sets and sets of politicians. So that is what, you know, when you see the ugliness of NRC now, it is actually the culmination of all of that. Okay. So Assam White is so worried. Okay. You know, when agitation started, the anti-foreigner agitation started in Assam in 1979, the whole thing was around the fear of Tripura. You know, we used to hear at that time, they say that, you know, अगला त्रिपुरा बन जाएगा, असम अगला त्रिपुरा बन जाएगा अगर आप रास्ते में नहीं आएंगे. People used to come to our house and say things like that. So why was that? So you have to understand the story of Tripura, okay? Tripura, today, the tribal population is about, I think, 30% or 25 to 30%, okay? And been reduced to also in that ADC area, ADC areas, उस area में घुस गए. बाकी जो partition के बाद जो लोग आए, then उसके बाद बांग्लादेश में border share करते हैं, formation of Bangladesh, that led another bout of migration. So today the people have lost their political rights mainly. Okay, so and also their language now. The main language in Tripura today is Bengali, not Kokborok. No, but they're trying to now bring it. There's some efforts are being done, but it's not enough. If you go to Tripura University, you go to the Kokborok department, there are not enough teachers, there are not enough books. All those things are going on. It'll take years. So that is what was talked about at that time. That we don't want another Tripura to happen in Assam. So tomorrow, Monday, when people will come out, they will also keep that in mind. Okay. So the Tripura story is very important. That's why it's a benchmark actually for the rest of the Northeast. So we don't want to become another one. So that is one thing. And then the other thing is, of course, the Assam Accord. The accord says that there is a certain cut-off date, and which is exclusive to the state and unlike the rest of India. But whenever we talk about that, we also need to see what all changes were being brought to the Citizenship Act over the years. So practically now, for the rest, for entire India actually, the cut-off date is July 1st, 1987. If you read the act, it says that whoever India में born हुआ है July 1st 1987 से वो Indian citizen है. So that act is also applicable to Assam, though NRC didn't take into account because it was updated as per the Assam Accord. So otherwise, whoever is a citizen whoever is born actually before or on or before July 1st 1987 can be thrown out of the country. Okay, so this is basically the cut-off date for entire India. But in terms of Assam, what happened was, there is if tomorrow the NRC लागू होता है, जैसे सरकार कह रही है कि करेंगे, तो ये अगर होता है तो डिफरेंस क्या होगा? डिफरेंस ये है कि you have to be born in India. You have to be born in India to be able to avail that. That's why NRC में भी अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इतने सारे जजमेंट्स हैं, NRC के जो सुनवाई की टाइम पे वो यही कहते हैं कि जुलाई 1st 1987 में कोई भी बॉर्न हुआ हो उसको अंदर डालना है. ये कहता है इसको. लेकिन रेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया में ये है कि आपको यू हैव टू बी बोर्न विद इन इंडिया. बट द 1971 कट ऑफ doesn't mention you were born. You don't need to be born. You can be born in any other part, which was like say East Pakistan. Okay, so it was a general amnesty that was given for Assam, and nearly a 20-year period of general amnesty that was given to anybody. That means, okay, who've been residing in Assam. Doesn't matter whether you were born within the independent India or not, but you can be a citizen. So that is the difference basically between what happened in Assam and what happened in rest of India. Okay. And ये चीज़ें बाहर आएगी जब ये NRC अगर देश भर में लागू करते हैं तो ये चीज़ें बाहर आएगी. So that is one thing. So that means Assam took nearly a load of say 20-year load of people who were saying that doesn't matter आप कहाँ से हैं, but if you can prove that you have been here before March 24, 1970, you're a citizen. So in a way, actually, it is quite contradictory. That आप असम की शायद citizen बन सके, but आप भारत की शायद ना बन पाए. So this is actually practically, if you see it, this is what has happened. Okay. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these people who were supporters of agitation and are not very happy with the cut-off date also argue that a lot of people from the neighboring areas also went to Assam and settled down because of that. So that's also an argument. Okay. So now the thing is, अब क्या हुआ है? ये जो बिल कल MPs में सर्कुलेट किया है, क्योंकि पहले जब जवदेकर जी ने निकल के आके बताया कि यूनियन कैबिनेट हैज़ पास्ड approved this bill, and we asked him and give us some detail, but he said it will be given only in Parliament. So, but it came out in bits and pieces here and there. But yesterday, it has been circulated among the MPs, so now we know what exactly is there. So, what we are talking about is what is going to be in Parliament. So, उसमें ये कहा जाता है कि एक क्लॉज है उसमें. ये क्लॉज कहता है कि अगर आप मतलब if you cannot prove that your your lineage, you say your parents were born in India, if you cannot prove, you don't have documents, nothing, you cannot prove. So for those people who have stayed, say, continuously in this country for 6 years, they can avail of this benefit. So that means, if this is applicable for the rest of India, that means only these categories of people will be able to take the benefit of what happened in Assam. Am I clear? What I'm trying to say is that in the rest of India, you might not be a citizen, but you may be citizen of Assam by that 1971 cut-off date. But when this amendment is included, it says that this lot of people, the 6 groups of people, will be able to actually avail that in the rest of India too. Okay, so this is what is being inserted. So this is something one needs to understand. And then the other thing that this talks about is that earlier जो एक्ट के तहत ये है कि आप अगर 12 साल को आपको कंटिन्यूअसली इस देश में रहना पड़ेगा to be able to claim apply for citizenship, वो अब 5 साल की है. तो उस टाइम मुझे बहुत सारे लोग पूछ रहे थे कि ये December 31st 2014 का क्या चक्कर है, ये क्यों कट ऑफ उसमें क्यों है, और लोग ये कह रहे हैं कि मतलब उसके बाद क्या प्रोसिक्यूशन नहीं हुआ है क्या, पाकिस्तान में नहीं हुआ है क्या, बांग्लादेश में तो चलो नया अलग सरकार है तो ये में नहीं हो रहा है क्या, तो क्या चक्कर क्या है. So you have to actually really engage with it to understand, because the ruling party is very tight-lipped about it, so you have to really get into this whole thing to understand चक्कर क्या है. ये 31st December 2014 में क्या कट ऑफ है ये. So ये कट ऑफ इसलिए है, आप देखिएगा अब इसमें कहते हैं कि आपको ये जो 12 साल रहना पड़ेगा, continuously you have to stay 12 years and then you can claim benefits under this bill. So under this amendment. So if you stay only for 5 years, okay, so which would be then say 2014 till 2014 on or before November 31st 2014, 2019, December 2019, okay. So that means the people who actually had completed the 2019 time period can apply in 2020. And where are the elections in 2021? Bengal, Assam. Okay. So that takes us to this question of vote bank politics. Please understand. Okay. So that brings me again back to the question of Assam. In Assam, it is not that the one national party now jumps into the arena and is actually trying to create its own vote bank. It was Congress which did it in 1983 and bought this IMDT Act. I don't know how many of you heard about that. The IMDT Act, Illegal Migration Determination Act 1983, was brought by Indira Gandhi government at the peak of Assam agitation, and when that year actually elections didn't happen in the Brahmaputra Valley. So even the Congress, the Assamese community MPs were not there in the parliament. But it was passed anyway because you have the brute majority like you have now, so Congress did it. But what is its effect? There may be various reasons for bringing a bill, okay, because they argued that, anybody could have been then, if the Foreigners Act would have been applicable in Assam, then anybody could have been picked up and, those things they argue. There are various levels of argument about that. But what happened at the social level? The social level, one entire community got maligned. The Muslims of East Bengal origin, okay? People, because they were voting for BJP, for Congress, and they were made to people the other lot, they looked at the entire community as ye khud Bangladeshi hai ya Bangladeshi ko ye sharan dete. So the whole thing began, this is a terrible piece of legislation that was brought by Congress to only protect its vote bank, because it just said that we don't need you. Okay, तुम रास्ते में लगे रहो, हम तुम्हारे को चाहिए नहीं. This is what the arrogance, when you have this huge majority that you have, you normally tend to have, get into that mode. So you did that, but you actually created such a division in the delicate social fabric of Assam. that happened. And now another national party is going and actually bringing this CAB, okay, for rest of India, of course, for entire India, but its huge socio-critical effect will be in Assam. And then the people are going to actually look at one particular community, which is the Bengali Hindus now, as under suspicion, because NRC के बाद, फाइनल NRC के बाद 12 से 13 लाख लोग बंगाली हिंदूज बताए जा रहे हैं कि वो बाहर है। अगर उनको ये आप उस सिस्टम से ही निकाल देते हैं और कहते हैं कि इसी का फायदा लो और तुम बन जाओ, ठीक है, तो उसमें दो चीज़ें होगी। एक तो mostly the Muslims who are left out will have to go through the entire process of foreigners tribunal, perhaps detention, and then whatever. Okay, so there will be some Assamese who are left out, the tribals, so they will also go through, but they will, I'm sure they would get the benefit of original inhabitant and various other things, so they'll get the benefit. So that is one point. But the other thing is that you are actually putting an entire community under suspicion of your neighbors, actually. The आस-पास रहते हैं, particular in the Brahmaputra Valley, and there are more Bengali Hindus, let me tell you, in Brahmaputra Valley than in the Barak Valley, okay, which is a Bengali-dominated valley. So now, if you don't allow the Bengali Hindus to go through that process, two things going to happen. Of course, one is the suspicion, and the other thing is, if I belong to that section of people, I will question that, because if I am Indian, say I came to Assam before the birth of Bangladesh, okay, so I'm Indian then, okay, so I moved from what was East Pakistan to Assam, so and so I'm well within my rights to call myself an Indian. So if you are Indian, then how would you first declare yourself to be an illegal Bangladeshi? I'm an illegal immigrant, but that's why I'm taking the advantage of this bill. I mean, it's a terrible thing to be done to an Indian, actually. And many Indians will not have actually their documents, How many poor people will have documents, to show that, मेरे बाप दादा यहाँ थे, ये थे. आप में से सभी में से शायद बहुत सारे लोगों में नहीं होंगे. Because document is not something, we keep like things like, say, you should see the list, of the list that was created for Assam, LIC policy. आपके बाप दादा के पास LIC पॉलिसी थे, नहीं थे तो फिर आपका सिटीजनशिप पे प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है, ठीक है. तो आपका ग्रैंडमदर ग्रैंडफादर के बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट है, वो लोग स्कूल कॉलेज गए थे क्या? So these are the things, you have to, so it is not very easy for a poor person to prove all these things. So there may be many Bengali Hindus who may have come before the birth of Bangladesh, and that's why may have rightfully applied to be part of the NRC, because the cutoff date in NRC is March 24, 1971, which means there was no Bangladesh. Bangladesh was formed only on March 26, 1971. Okay, so there was no Bangladesh. So ये लोग बांग्लादेशी नहीं है इसका मतलब. So तो अगर आप नहीं हैं, तो फिर आपको अब कहना पड़ेगा कि हाँ मैं हूँ, मैं ऐसे, तो आपने जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स दिया जिसके तहत आप अब सोच रहे थे कि मुझे कुछ करना पड़ेगा, ये फेक है क्या? That also, I mean, like, think of the questions that are going to come up now. And you may pass the, there may be various tinkerings of the act you can do and get these people into a certain, some level of safety आप ला देंगे. लेकिन ये चीज़ें जो हैं, ये ground में will they get lost? They will not get lost on the ground. So that's what I'm saying. So you are creating actually another fault line. So this fault line, actually, the whole thing in Assam is so volatile, कि सुबह सब ठीक है, शाम को करीब क्या हो जाएगा. तो उसमें अगर आप ऐसी चीज़ें आप ला रहे हैं, तो आपको बहुत सोच समझ के करना चाहिए चीज़ें. Because not just only to win elections, there are other things at stake here. So that's what I'm saying. And so these are the basic issues that is worrying me at this moment. But the ASU and all are also launching their agitation from tomorrow. I think they're already into it, but from Monday onwards, I think there is something everyday kind of a lineup. But the interesting thing is, the government of India is actually going to get this bill passed on a day which is very, very, the many Assamese are very, very sensitive to. that's the December 10th. December 10th in 1979 was actually the trigger for what Assam agitation became. Because on that day, there was one guy, one college student in Borpeta, place called Bhawanipur. He died in police action. They say it's police action, but there was like some kind of ruckus that had happened. There was a protest, so he died in that police action. So his body was brought, from Bhawanipur, which is about, say, one hour drive from Guwahati. And so that his body was brought to the Guwahati Medical College that day. And after the autopsy and all of that, the one doctor the doctors were attacked because they thought that, jaldi se iska autopsy report do. And they said that ye goli kha ke nahi mara hai. He died of drowning. Okay, so that became such a flash point that a Bengali Hindu doctor was attacked and he died. Okay, and that's the next day. There was a band in a nearby town called Pandu in very close to Guwahati, and a lot of Bengali Hindus are there. So the fault lines, now I'm just seeing this, such similarities, and you're going to pass it that day on 10th of December, and 10th of December is observed in that state as Swahid Divas, because nearly 900 youth died, and aside from, of course, so many others died in Delhi and other places. So these are the youth that are remembered every year on the 10th of December as Swahids. So that's the day, if the bill gets passed in Parliament, I think a large majority of the Assamese will not forget this. So this is something, what I mean to say is that it will be very easy for the protesters also to reach out to the community and look what has happened. So all I'm placing all these in front of you to show that what are we staring at actually? What are we staring at? I just hope that nothing happens. But the thing is that this is what is being done to the state. Okay, and so people are not going to. I don't think people are going to remain quiet now anymore. And then the other thing is there's always an argument given, that इतना protest हुआ CAB का, but फिर BJP ऐसा जीता असम, तो ये क्या, इसका कोई इफेक्ट नहीं है, ठीक है ना? So हमने भी ग्राउंड में घूमा, तो इफेक्ट क्यों नहीं हुआ, ठीक है? ये इसको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. इफेक्ट हुआ है. ये जो आर्ग्यूमेंट देते हैं, आप अब देखिएगा 2014 में बीजेपी वन the assembly, the Lok Sabha seats for the first time, so many in the Brahmaputra Valley, which is called Assam's heartland. So वहाँ से जीते, क्योंकि आप देखिएगा बीजेपी का entry in Assam is not through the Assamese community, through the Bengali Hindu community, who were mostly affected by, say, partition, and they can relate to their various ideologies. So from 1994, I think, isn't it? 1994, BJP has made an entry in Assam Assembly with 10 seats, but all won from the Bengali Hindu areas. Okay, so there, and they in the 2014 elections, they won in the Brahmaputra Valley, so many seats. So it was considered to be huge for the party, and that they tried to maintain till the 2016, in which they got actually the benefits of it. And why 2016? Because the people voted for that party also because not for any Hindutva region. It is again, they played on this whole Jati Mati Bheti slogan, because we're going to protect your identity, your all this Bangladeshi problem will solve. Okay, so those kind of things. So that's why people voted. Okay, and then in the vision document, like I'm told by a lot of people in my like newsrooms and all, that but ये अभी क्यों चिल्ला रहे हैं, ये तो CAB को लाने का तो बीजेपी के मैनिफेस्टो में था. Okay, ये सवाल करते हैं. So then I say that, but the vision document that was brought out for Assam, okay, that said we are going to respect the Assam Accord in letter and spirit. That's the reason the people voted for this party. It's very important to understand. Not for what was there in the national manifesto. So the anger is that. Okay. So and if you say that 2019 की इलेक्शन में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, ये 2000 जो CAB की प्रोटेस्ट हुई थी इसके खिलाफ, आप देखिएगा 2014 जो मैं मेंशन किए उसका वोट शेयर और 2019 का वोट शेयर has drastically come down. So the party is very worried कि 2021 में आपका वोट है, तो ये CAB लाना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि एक आप वोट बैंक बनाएं अभी जल्दी से, तो कुछ तो हो. And the other thing is also, there's another carrot. When all these November 30 से December 3rd में जो meetings हुए हैं दिल्ली में, all different sets of people they were called, there were certain groups from Assam also, and primarily a group which have been demanding tribal status, ST demand for the 6 communities, and these communities are actually, when they come together, they're actually the majority, I would say, in Upper Assam. Okay, so BJP has been promising them from 2014 onwards. 2016 also happened. It was there in the vision document, and then so they were all called to Delhi and told that हम ये करेंगे, लेकिन 2021 से इलेक्शन से पहले करेंगे, अभी नहीं, ठीक है. So then there is another carrot, which is the Clause 6 committee. What is Clause 6 committee? Clause 6 committee has been set up by Ministry of Home Affairs. And why Ministry of Home Affairs? Because the implementation of the Assam Accord is the nodal agency is the Ministry of Home Affairs, not the Government of Assam. Though Government of Assam has a department called Implementation of Assam Accord Department, but the entire thing has to go from the Ministry of Home Affairs. And that committee, Clause 6 committee, is what is Clause 6? Clause 6 is the Clause 6 of the Assam Accord. And what does it talk about? It talks about giving constitutional safeguards, protection to pick up the exact words. It said Assamese people. So it has taken a lot of time actually to define who are Assamese people. People who speak the language, or who, I mean, there are many, or they're only, there's a term that is used called Longia. You're like the indigenous. Okay, so the certain amount of consensus has arrived over who is an Assamese as of now. So that lot of people are going to get certain benefits, certain protection, say legislative protection, protection in the assembly, in the MPC, land rights, say maybe trade license, those kind of things that you are going to be given. So this Clause 6 committee has been formed now, and that the mandate of the committee was to, it was formed in June, and its mandate was that it has to give the June 2019 to give their report within 6 months. Okay, so they have actually given out ads in the newspapers asking people for to come and present themselves and suggest if there is any suggestion from common Aam Janta. So that is all. So the process is on. But the government had told the leaders that we will actually submit this, and we will going to simultaneously bring the bill and this. So maybe there was some sort of understanding that was arrived at. But what I understand from the leaders when I spoke to them yesterday, that understanding has also been broken and said that we will do it before 2021. So ये 2020 बहुत busy साल होगा आसाम में, मुझे लगता है. In the run up to 2021, because everything is now coming to winning an election. But look what we are actually, what are the what is the collateral damage? So that's what I'm saying. So what I see is what I have presented to all of you. And another point before I end is to highlight that it is very important to understand that the constitutional safeguards that the Assam Accord talked about was in lieu of taking people for 20 years, taking people for 20 years, till 1971. That you are on humanitarian grounds, you have to take these people because they cannot go back. So we will be giving you some sort of protection. Okay, so that means there was a deal to to the host community, actually offered to the host community that this is migration issue basically. So you accept this lot of people, that we will give you something. So that's why the whole the essence of the whole constitutional safeguard thing was that. But now the government is saying that 71 का जो वो है जो cut off date है उसको आप 2014 करो, but take this only. So that's why people are saying that उसके लिए तो ये था, तो इसके लिए क्या है? So it is going to be very, very confrontational in coming times. Okay. Another point I want to highlight before I forget is during the Assam agitation, Indira Gandhi was in power, and actually the agitation started during Morarji Desaix's time only, and there was a lot of these uncertainties because Morarji Desai government fell, then Charan Singh came, and it was uncertainty, and suddenly Indira Gandhi came with a heavy majority, and 2 days after that she sent her home minister at that time, Jail Singh, to Assam that kya ho raha hai iska pata karo, we need a solution. So with this whole at least 30 rounds of talks happened before she was killed, and then the Assam Accord happened during Rajiv Gandhi's time. But during that period, when they were facing the wrath of the Indira Gandhi government, a very powerful government, and they were taking help from opposition leaders, which were say the leaders, and there was BJPers at that time, and some of the front runners, who actually helped the education guys and given them a lot of suggestions and all that, was Vajpayee, was Jaswant Singh, was L.K. Advani, was Ram Jethmalani. These were people who were traveling to Assam at that time so often. Okay, and but at that time, I mentioned this in my book also, how the people who were at the forefront, they said that because Assam, there was no RSS in Assam, before before India became independent. It started operations only in 1947. So, but then they saw that this whole thing is against both Hindus and Muslims in Assam. But the whole ideology of RSS looks at the Hindus as the refugees, Sharanarthi, and Muslims as the infiltrator. So they tried to then influence the Assam agitation, but people refused to buy that. So there was a huge. If you see the proceedings at the time of Parliament, both starting from Indira Gandhi to Jail Singh, everybody says there is a foreign hand operating in Assam. So a lot of people thought that ye kahan se aa gaya, China to nahi hai. But foreign hand they were referring to was actually RSS, trying to influence, because it was not falling into their ideological beliefs. But finally it didn't happen, and the accord happened during the Congress period. So how I see now is that they're trying to correct that wrong by actually tinkering with Assam. So that is how I see it, because otherwise there's no other reason for tinkering with an accord which people hold it so close to their heart. Any questions? I'm ready to.
No.